So we've switched over the Pro Tools now, and the reason for that is to just make sure that you understand the difference between a synthesizer and a sample-based instrument, regardless of the digital audio workstation that you're using, whether it's Pro Tools, Ableton Live, GarageBand, or Cubase or Logic. So we're going to try to do the same thing. We're going to create two instrument tracks. I'll have that in stereo. And on the first, we'll load up Vacuum, which is a synthesizer that I think is going to be similar to Operator in Ableton Live. And the next one we're going to load up is the Mini Grand, which is comes with Pro Tools if you buy the full version. And when we load up the Mini Grand, you'll notice right away that there is a loading time. It takes a bit of time for the wave samples to load, but when they do, this piano is going to sound realistic. There's a bit of distortion now because I'm sharing the sound card between Pro Tools and the screencasting software, but this sounds exactly like a real piano. And if we switch over to Vacuum and we move between the presets, you'll see there's virtually no loading time at all, because like Operator in Ableton Live, this is these controls, they're synthesizing sound from nothing using math. And in the first example in Operator, we had 4 oscillators that we were adjusting the volume and choosing the right waveforms for. Like we would use a sine tone in oscillator 1, and we'll mix that with a sawtooth in oscillator 2. And in this instrument, in Pro Tools, there are 2 oscillators. Oscillator 1 on the top left, and oscillator 2, VTO2. And you can see we can adjust the kind of waveform we want, the kind of shape, using the controls in section 1. And we can change that also in oscillator 2. Can make coarse adjustments or fine-tune adjustments. The influence that a volume envelope has on the volume envelope has on this oscillator. And right next to these 2 sections, oscillator 1 and 2, on the right you'll see a little mixer. We can adjust the volume of oscillator 1 against the volume of oscillator 2. Right? There's some additional parameters like drive and a ring modulator, but essentially this section is to mix 2 sounds together versus what we had in Ableton Live. We had those 4 oscillators and we were mixing the volume between the 4. Next to the on the right side of the mixer, you'll see a high pass filter and a low pass filter. This is like a small EQ section, and next to that is another section for age. Right, so this will be unique. Age will be unique to this synthesizer because it's even got rust built into the graphics. It's trying to simulate an all analog synthesizer, so you can add things like dust, things like drift. On the right is the overall volume control for this synthesizer, and below this mixer, age, and volume section, right below that, you'll see envelope 1 for the amplitude of oscillator 1. Got attack, decay, sustain, release. So if I increase the attack time for both oscillator 1 and oscillator 2, you would expect the sound to be, to take a while to build up. Right? There's a little bit of movement in the sound, and that movement is because of the modulation. See, it's a little bit more distinct now as I increase the modulation. And this is also controlled by the low frequency oscillator here, which is what we found in Ableton's operator instrument. So with that, we've just made a comparison between a sample-based instrument and a synthesizer. We did this comparison in Ableton Live as well as in Pro Tools. Hopefully this gives you some insight into the differences between the two, and it'll help you complete your mobile music making competition submission easier. If you have any questions, you can always get in touch with us. You can find the email address in the link below for details on how you can win $2,000 worth of cash and prizes, up to $2,000 shared between all the winners in secondary school. Hope you'll all take part, and we'll see you at the mentoring session.